Welcome to the first of many episodes here as we look at our Group Ironman, playing with a few friends without any particular goals, just seeing how far we get, having a good time, maybe some group PVM, maybe some sharing of tasks, figuring out what we're going to do along the way. Sit back, relax, we're in for a good time here. Thank you one and all for tuning in. Now as you'll see, we are starting as an Ironman, and we are also starting with 5 thieving. That's right, I've cheated. I've already started. I thieved off of some men to get ready for our cake stalls, but hopefully that doesn't interfere with the integrity of this run. As mentioned there, we are just going for a bit of a casual run through with a few mates. That's what it is. Just, chronicling, journaling our Group Ironman journey. Hope you enjoy. Please stay tuned. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next clip. When it comes to RuneScape, it's always worth starting those early quests here. We have got a long list, 290 points to start with, and why don't we check out our rune mysteries here to begin with. It's just going to be starting off a whole bunch of quests as we wander through, as we collect other items there. We will be looking to complete multiple back to back, maybe doing some simultaneously. We will see how we go. No rush, no haste, just pass our time and start off with some nice quest rewards to get those early levels, of course. As mentioned there, it's always worthwhile to pick up a little bit of experience there as you travel. Just throw out some casts, maybe pick up some cheeky little mage experience along the way. Nothing like, a bit of efficiency to start off your RuneScape journey, of course. We're not going for max efficiency. We're not going to be doing any tick manipulation, excuse me. That's not really how we do things. Just here to have a good time. Embarrassingly enough, I almost got absolutely murdered or massacred there by the frogs. No run energy, no food. You've got to be a little bit careful. This is why I don't think I could ever really stomach playing a hardcore Ironman or Group Ironman. It's just, death comes too easily for me on these accounts here for sure. And this unicorn, I'm so tempted to cast a wind strike on it there, but I think I'll hold off, resist the urge. And this should mark the completion of the Restless Ghost, if I do believe correctly. Oh, we have to search the coffin once more. Let's go in the coffin. There is our cutscene. Lovely. You're welcome there, friend. And we of course have our Ghost Speak Amulet, which is pretty crucial for lots of later quests here. So a very nice early pickup that requires very little effort whatsoever. Plus of course the Prayer XP, a huge wee start there. Huge wee, that's kind of counterintuitive there, isn't it? Contradictory? Anyway, bit of an oxymoron. We'll skip that one right ahead. Now we just need to find a spade, so let me look where I can find one of those. And of course, every single time that we head past our tutors here, we will drop our mine in there, pick up a few more. Thank you very much. And we'll be sure to do that every single time to continue our stock and just get our free mage levels, as we're already up to level 3, halfway to level 4. As our inventory fills up here a wee bit, it also makes sense to use a few of these logs that we've been picking up at our Lumbridge Castle spawn, at our Wizard's Tower spawn, just get a few free fire making levels in before we continue. I believe some ashes will be useful in later quests as well, and also just picking up little bits and pieces from our general store here. All of this stuff I'm sure will be used later, and worst case scenario, these ashes will go towards some Sandview serums much further down the track. But let's not worry about that far ahead. We are still very much in the early game, and we did manage to pick up 6 fire making from all of that. You've also got to love for those who are not trying to experience the quest for the first time. These quest helpers, they're absolutely fantastic, telling me exactly where to dig every single time. This takes a lot of worry off of my chest here. Note to self, do not walk through the jail cell. I think we've all got stories there, or at least those of us who played many years ago, those veterans of the game, of situations where, walking through that area with your massive cash stack, only to lose it there and not realize how the hell to get back and that you can pick up your loot. I'm sure others have embarrassing stories like that, but my worst one probably is when I took my full rune after I just purchased it, took it into the wilderness, thought I was absolute hot shit, went around, bragging about it, had like half an inventory of food plus some other random stuff, low level food, only to find out I got absolutely demolished by people who actually knew what they were doing, and I lost my rune probably less than an hour after I bought it. But these things happen, you live and you learn, and we, experience a little bit of what RuneScape has to offer along the way there, right? So it turns out that one of the most important pieces of equipment for early level Ironman actually cost quite a bit of money there. So we obviously don't have the means to pick that up there just yet. Later on, maybe after we do the Stronghold of Security, we'll pop back here and see what we can get for us. But right now, we're going to be walking. Not much we can do about it. Let's finish this X marks the spot quest. We'll see. There we go. Nice and easy. Antique lamp. We will take it. And a beginner clue scroll, which we'll try out. See what we get. If we get lucky, who knows? Maybe it'll be quite nice at this stage of the game. I do love my clue scrolls, so I'm going to be completing as many of those as I can with the unlocks that we have early on. Showing our stats here to begin with, still very low level, but we are making some progress. We've now finished a few quests. All of these quest points eventually will add up, of course. As we're working towards our pirate's treasure here, picking up our white apron from the fishing shop, I do need to recall that coming in here to pick up some raw sardines are very nice early game levels for your cooking stat there, of course, which are quite nice. As we can see, if I go to cooking here, we have sardines being a very nice early game option. And apologies for some of these text overlays. We'll see about maybe changing those a little bit later on, just so they're a little bit less distracting for the videos. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see. Would make the viewing experience even better for you. Now I just realized that I never actually made mention of the XP reward lamp that we got as a result of our X marks the spot quest completion. If we quickly check here, the ones that we really want to add it to are herb lore. I mean, that's the only one that we want to add it to at this stage of the game. We can't do it until we complete Druidic Ritual, and we also cannot bank this lamp. So we're going to have to hold on to it there in our inventory until the end of time, until we complete that quest. Thankfully, it's a quick quest to complete. It just requires us to head over in that direction, which, still a wee ways off of that just yet, but I'm sure eventually we'll get there, and then we can finally use that. And now we also have a chance to store a bunch of our extra items here in our bank. Look at that, fat stacks. Remember this screenshot there for when we've got a 2 billion bank valuation. As we enter Barbarian Village, I'm reminded of where I used to train my range across here on my free-to-play account back when I was a wee lad. And I also recall picking up some food for when I didn't properly safe spot or trap the barbarians behind the stools and tables. So I thought, why not pick up some of the meat and the beer that we can drink? We gain some HP from it, and it can be quite useful when we are, of course, delving through the depths here. Now let's hope we make it all the way down, pick up all the gold. We are going to go for the full 10,000, even though we could be one shot. Maybe it's risky, maybe it's a fool's gambit, but let's find out how much of a fool I am. While in the process of setting up my authenticator, we got a cheeky little Evil Bob. And of course, Evil Bob there usually gives us some very nice fishing experience there to start with. And we get 650 fishing experience. Absolutely great there. Catapults us all the way from level 1 to level 7. You absolutely love it. Now let's finish off this multi-factor authentication, shall we? And with that, our authenticator should be set up and we should have access to our flap emote, but more importantly to our gold. Now we're not going all the way through the Stronghold of Security, we're just going to be going until we get our full 10,000. That's the wrong way. Let's head back down. Now we should have access to this portal as well, unless it's based on our levels. There we go, perfect, okay. So we don't go up, we of course go deeper into the Stronghold. Let's keep going. And with that, level 2 of the Stronghold of Security is complete. That should be a further 3,000 gold, up to 5,200. We could now afford our house if we want to. But of course, now for the most precarious area, which is heading down even further and picking up the final 5,000. Alright, so that 5 damage was a little bit too close for comfort. Thankfully we made it through. And we can now claim our third reward, pick up our 10,000 gold, continue on to Varrock, complete our clue scroll, plus further progress with some of our other quests. And I do remember as well there's a trick that you can just spam click those doors and eventually it will give you a non-question dialogue where you can just head straight through. We have the 10,000 gold. I believe it's also, is it not an achievement there to get it all the way through to the final floor? Unlock it entirely. Maybe we give it a go here. Now this is what's known as a pro gamer move, as I turn on my thick skin with my 1 defense to just bump that up even further and just see if we can make it all the way through. Now we have our cooked meat, which will heal a little bit. Let's see if we can make it through. Little damage. Oh, that's a decent hit. We'll heal up again, and we make it through. So now we get our nice wee boots. Oh my god, okay. Okay, nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. We'll just drink our beers, back up to 5 HP, act like nothing happened, play it cool, play it cool. We have a choice. We've always, I mean, the fighting boots are cool, but how can you not go for the colourful ones, right? We'll take these fancy boots. We've done everything here. Solston. Okay, we'll see who that is later on, but now we have our goals, now we continue on. As per usual with our early game Ironman, I feel like we absolutely have to pick up a Staff of Fire. It's an investment into our future. We will get some great return on investment there, I feel like. 1500 gold there for our initial pickup. And we might actually go, as we do have our research package, which needs to trade down to Albury here. Let's see, where's the mugger? He's buggered off outside. He's making a go for me. No, there we go. Wrapped you there, mate. You know, the door's gotcha. Now, we're going to buy 5 Mind Rune packs. We're actually going to bump that up to 10. We've got the money for it. Now that's plenty of Mind Runes. It should give us plenty of kills along the way. Now the main thing that we go for here is lots and lots of Air Runes as well. And we need to double check what our Fire Strike cast costs. And it is double the number of Air Runes for that. So we might have actually bought too many. Yeah, we definitely bought too many Mind Runes here. We'll have to buy more Air Runes later on down the track. But in the interim, maybe we just buy, I don't know, an extra 50 of these and 50 odd of these. And, you know, later on, these will certainly help for some of our quests as well, plus our later stage teleports. But now we are pretty poor. We do have our staff though, so at least we can wield that. That's pretty neat. I seem to recall that we do need quite a few red berries for our Knight Sword, among other quests later on. So we'll pick up a whole bunch while we're here. We'll then head across here to the X marks the spot. Do we have a lucky one-step clue? Oh my lord, we do. Okay, first clue scroll on the account. Let's see if we go. Apologies there for the screen regions there. Sometimes I will make that mistake. Feel free to give me grief in the chat. I wouldn't blame you. Okay, fingers crossed. What do we get? Do we get lucky? Body runes and a short bow. No, but then again, what can you really expect with a beginner clue casket there, right? I mean, it's better than nothing, or is it? Alright, so here is the start of the quiz, the museum quiz, which gives us quite a bit of Hunter and Slayer experience. Always good to start off there. And with that, we should have completed the museum mini quest, got 28 kudos to our name, and fingers crossed, get all of this experience here. Let's see how we go. 1000 Slayer, 1000 Hunter, absolutely beautiful, instant level 9 across the board, helping out a great deal. Love it, love it. While heading back to Cedrador to finish off the Rune Mysteries quest here, I popped into our Draenor Manor, just north of Draenor Village of course, and decided to finish off Ernest the Chicken there. No real requirements except for what you can pick up in the area. So I figured why not give it a go. It's so different doing it now than it was many years ago when I was a wee lad. I was a moron trying to figure out which levers to pull in which order, where to go. To be fair, it's not really that simple of a quest there if you really don't understand what's going on. So now it's a case of, you know, backtracking, opening through these open ones and just following the little blue arrows there. Makes our lives that much easier. Thank you, RuneLite. Absolute legends. But we'll finish off this quest, then we'll finish off Rune Mysteries. We picked up some nice new swag as well in the form of our priest gowns, some nice prayer bonus in the form of both of them. We've also got our staff and runes for casting later on. A few cabbages, because I do believe that there are quests that rely on cabbage use later on. Maybe some Black Knight's Fortress among others. So, you know, best to be prepared. We are going to be filling up our bank with a whole bunch of junk, but I'm sure we can clean it out there later on. You know, that's a future me problem, not a current me problem. We can get our quest reward from Veronica. Oh no, we get it right here. There we go, even better. 4 quest points, 300 coins. Honestly, the coins are not all that bad here at this stage of the game. Also, the quest points will be useful later for our recipe for disaster, of course. That's again much later. But I also forgot to mention there that I have updated the way that my game looks a little bit here. So you might have seen from the last couple of scenes to this one here, the last couple of clips, that we've now got a bit of a hollow background to both of these. We can now see past it, change the scaling a wee bit here, and we might even look to maneuver some of these around the place at a later stage. Now, why don't we bring back up our very handy quest helper, We get our rune mysteries back, front and center, so now it's in the top left hand corner again, and we can get back to Sedrul's tower. Now, quite a nice little tip for those who didn't know it, you can actually go around this eastern side here, because I remember as a kid as well, I also used to run all the way around thinking that was the only way that you could get around that place. Thankfully, if you just run that way, you're absolutely fine as well. So the more you know. And now that we have a few more, or a little bit more gold to our names, I believe that we should be able to pick up at least a few of these. So I'm actually going to spend the remainder of our money to buy these teleport cards, to buy the Chronicle. We now have a means to teleport back to Vrock at the very least, so we do have something, which is obviously something's better than nothing. Oh my god, I forgot about these Dark Wizards here. They can absolutely mess us up. Let's quickly bypass them there. Don't forget about that, of course. A lot of enemies here, given that we are only level 6, can absolutely wallop us in one go. Checking in on our levels here quickly, level 76 total, very, very small, mostly quest rewards plus a few other things that we've got. Of course, the 7 fishing was a random event, which we love to see. Random events quite useful at this stage of the game. We'd finished off our museum, kudos there as well, 9 Slayer and 9 Hunter, very nice to see. A little bit of thieving, which we got in case we want to thieve from our cake and tea stall. I believe they're both level 5. There we go. Alright, rune mystery is complete. Another quest down. We can now start our rune crafting, but more importantly, we can get access to the areas to mine rune essence there, which we might get to later on, if only to get the rune essence requirement for Priest and Peril. But let's just keep going here. Our inventory is an absolute mess. That is 100% the truth, but at least we managed to swing down to Remington. Of course, we need to get our seasoned sardine. We then pass across all the ingredients here for the Witch's Potion, and we should get a little bit of magic experience and finish off another quest here. That might actually give us a few levels, up to level 8. I tell you what, that now allows us to start casting. No, it doesn't. Level 9 for Earthstrike, never mind. Just go to show that my early game knowledge is lacking there a wee bit. We headed down to Port Sarim, used up most of our gold here to pick up a few items that would be quite nice to bank later on. Quickly popped into the Falador cow pen here to milk this cow, which we also need for Gertrude's cat, and in the process just got another mage level. So now we've got our 9 magic, now we can cast Earth Wave, picking up some raw beef and cowhide. But who knows, it might be useful later on. These short detours might take me a little bit longer now, but long term they should save me a lot of time for these little random fetch quests there that we otherwise don't want to do. Also, another little reminder for those of you starting out a fresh Ironman there, when you are in Draenor Village, there is a character called Fortunato, I believe, over down there. He is the wine trader. The wines there cost 1, and they heal, I believe, 11 HP total. They only reduce your attack, so when you're in the early game and using magic there, or relying on magic, definitely check him out, stock up. Whenever you're in the area, buy those wines there. He only has a stock of 5. You could, of course, world hop. I'm far too lazy for that, so I'm just going to pick them up every time I go by, if I remember. That's right, folks, it's time to defeat the giant mole. No, just kidding, of course. It is against the gardener here, as we are working towards Pirate's Treasure. Very nice to have our Earth Strike here. Not too far off our Fire Strike. We dig here. We should have our quest complete once we open this bad boy up, and here we go. We get the treasure, 2 quest points. Open this up for some guaranteed loot there. You know, a little bit of gold. An emerald there, we can sell that. Maybe we hold on to it there for our dueling rings later on though. We'll see. If we desperately need the gold, we can always hoik it off there. While in Lumbridge, I decided to make a quick little detour over to Fred the farmer here. Oh, okay. He's given me some grief here, of course. I'm going to hand in these balls of wool, finish off this quest here, keep things moving. I guess we get a little bit of payment here as well. 150 crafting experience and 60 coins. I mean, that 60 coins better than a kick in the teeth. But we're heading across to Vrock so that we can, of course, lure out some death rune generators. I mean, Gertrude's cat, of course. So we'll be doing that one there next. And here we have the completion of Gertrude's cat. Beautiful. We even get some food, which is awesome, and a decent amount of cooking experience, which I actually completely forgot about. Not too shabby. Now, why don't we also just run in, as we do get up to 12 cooking, and then finish off 13 magic as well. 13 mage, of course, a huge level for our Staff of Fire Strike that we've now got. That is going to be the spell that we use a lot of going forwards there, so I'm really looking forward to that. Should be great. You know, it's our boss killer, basically. We're not using it all the frickin' time, so absolutely love it. Good stuff. Progress is being made. Now that we've got our cat, I really feel like a little bit of AFKing would go a long way for when I'm doing other things. Just want to be able to grow up our cat, earn some death runes, get some extra skills going along the way as well. Now to do so, I feel like fishing is the obvious choice there, but of course, to do fishing, the early levels absolutely suck, so we're going to try and bypass that a little bit with Sea Slug. Sea Slug unfortunately requires 30 fire making, we can't do it straight away. So it looks like we're going to be AFKing a wee bit. We're currently level 7 fire making, 2 wood cutting. We do have our iron axe. We've got a whole bunch of sardines for our cat. This is going to be our new home for a while, just west of the Varrock Bank next to Gertrude's house. A good number of regular trees plus a handful of oak trees as well for when we eventually reach that level. So I think I'll just see you back at level 30 fire making. No need to go through every single level there piece by piece. Throw in montage here? No, absolutely not. We'll see you in a few levels. And there we have 10 fire making. And there we have 10 wood cutting. And there we have 15 fire making coming in. Halfway to 30. Throwing that cheeky little RuneScape linear scaling joke there every now and then, don't you? No, we're getting close, we're getting close. Well, we just picked up a clue nest, and never wanting to shy away from a challenge, we're going to see if we can do this. Worst case scenario. Oh wow, we actually throw away the nest? What happens there? Interesting. So share red. We're going to see if we can do that, and then maybe we'll consider going for that. We have the anagram clue, hairdresser, and western fallador. You know what? We can go and do that now. Why not? This leads us to Raldo. Okay, so we have to go back to Varrock, which is honestly not too bad. Our hot and cold clue scroll has led us to this very square here. Let's see what we find. We get our second casket. Was it worth the trip? Took us a good 5-10 minute detour here. Let's see. I mean, a staff of air and a steel dagger, for a beginner clue, it's not horrible. Why don't we pick some wheat in case we need some later on? And then we'll just get back to finishing off our 30 fire making. I think as soon as I get 15 wood cutting, I'm going to be switching across to oaks here because they are a far better source. And I tell you what, this is a decent enough cluster right here. Why don't we change our wood cutting and fire making spot to right here? And there we have 15 wood cutting. Very shortly we will be looking to move across to our oak logs. Why shortly? How about right now? We'll just go quickly bank and free up some space so I can start AFKing even more. In mere moments we should be hitting our next fire making milestone, level 20. 10 more to go. And any second now we should come away with 20 wood cutting. Some good milestones being made, some good total levels. And here we have 25 fire making. Oof, it hurts there how long some of these oak logs take to light. Who made up the idea of failing fire making and lighting logs? I guess it's true to the real world, but then again, eating a whole shark in one gulp isn't necessarily, I don't think RuneScape's going for realism, but 5 more levels to go. And there we have, in just a second, 25 wood cutting coming in. Long time coming, using an iron axe as you are 25 and 30 fire making, but it took a bit of time, but I'm happy to have reached it there. Final level before we get 30 fire making, which is just around the corner there too. Now, one thing that I am a little bit uncertain of is that our cat is absolutely chomping through these raw sardines, which cost 10 GP a piece down at our Port Sarum fishing shop. I can't afford that. It's a lot of money. I spent all of my gold on runes, on bits and pieces from general stores, on those sardines. We are broke. I even bought some steel nails for 3 GP each at the sawmill while I was there. We can't really keep this up much longer here, so the kitten might have to go in the bank, or we might have to find a better food source, or we might have to start earning some gold. We'll see what we go for here, but I'll see you in just a second with 30 fire making. And with one final log, here is what we've been waiting for. 30 fire making, the requirement for the sea slug. We can also now burn willow logs. Beautiful. We can now look to do our sea slug quest in our next episode. I think that's going to wrap us up here for this time. Thank you all very much for tuning in there, one and all. We can see that from the start here, we've made quite a bit of an adjustment from what we had to begin with there, starting from nothing to almost 150 total levels, finishing off the museum, getting some early levels there, and also allowing ourselves to AFK later on. Fishing, of course, quite useful for the fishing guild, a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm rambling now. We'll leave it there. Thank you all very much for tuning in there. Hope to see you all again there with our next episode. Bye for now there, team. See ya.